good evening. So I hadn't announced I was going to do a video. I wasn't really sure that I was going to do a video, but I feel like if you've never used Photoshop, then you really need to be able to see this, and not just by screen caps that I normally take and insert into the blog. So first of all, if you are just joining me on this, there are actually 4 more parts to this before the video for DIY book covers, and I really encourage you to take the time to go through those 4 installments on my blog post. I will link that down below. So right now we're just going to dive right into it. We have our template open for Ingram Spark. Again, I don't use Amazon, so it does look a little different from one company to the next, but not too much. So this shouldn't be too much different for you. So the first thing we want to do when we are working on an Ingram Spark cover is we want to be able to move our barcode right down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in, and I do that with Control and the plus sign. I'm going to, I've got my selector tool here, and we're just going to go ahead and move our our barcode. So I have that. I'm going to zoom out. Can be selected. We're just going to move it down here to this blank space. Not a big deal. Okay, so then the next thing that I want to do is I want to start moving over my other files. Now you can see here, and if you are actually coming to this video via my blog, then you've already seen where I tell you need to go ahead and have all your files open. So we have the spine, we have the cover, and we have the more or less blank back copy. I also have this copy here, but we're not going to actually use that one. So let's just start with any of them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click and drag, and we're going to drag it over to our tab that has this in it. So start with this, and see it magically appears over here. So we're going to place it. Now this is where I do zoom in quite a bit, because I want to be able to make sure that I have it lined up over here. And this is also when I go ahead and take my opacity down quite a bit. Not that much. We want to be able to see the image, but we want to be able to really see these bleed lines. So we go ahead and get this set. Perfect. And then I'm just going to hit enter to anchor it. Then we will go and grab our spine, and we're going to do the exact same thing there. Remember to take your opacity down so that way you can see your bleed lines, and you'll see that when I do this, it actually creates new layers. It's very important, because alright, so that looks good. You actually are going to save this document where all your layers are not compressed, and that way when you make changes, you have a good starting off point. You're not working on a compressed file or having to redo all this down the road. So we're going to take our cover and drag it. So this is really quick, especially since I've been doing this so many times already. And we're just going to make sure that our bleed lines are visible. And it does sort of snap to where it's supposed to go. Alright, so now that I got that done, we'll go ahead and make all of our images 100% again. Alright, so that looks good. Now, you see, the reason I opened this up is I wanted to be able to kind of get an idea of where I wanted my barcode to go. So what we're going to do is grab our barcode. Oops. So basically all I did was copy and paste that into a new layer and put that over here up above everything else so it shows up. That is one thing about in Photoshop, you can move your layers, and depending on where it is over here is what you'll see. So got that layered. I also renamed all my layers, and that's very important, so that way when you come back to this to make any changes, you know exactly which layer you're going into. So now we're going to work on the synopsis layer. I do my text in a separate layer. I really like to do my text in Photoshop rather than doing it in Canva. One, I really feel that it minimizes the risk of blurry text, because you did see that we do have to maneuver it and stretch it a little bit. So it does help prevent anything from being too blurry. And also you have more styles to choose from. You have the ability to make full justification. So we're going to work on that. And I mean, it's really simple. All you got to do is make your text box. I actually did not write a synopsis for this because I'm not actually writing this book, but I do have some Lorem Ipsum here we can copy and paste. If you have it on full justification, which is what you see right here, you'll see that it really stretches out this last line no matter how many words you put into it. So what I suggest doing is doing a full justification except for the last line, which does it like this. That's great. So we're gonna set that, and we're going to make another one for down here, and see how it gives you the pink guidelines there to look at. And I'm just gonna paste our Lorem Ipsum there, and that's that. You can change the size. Like I like mine to be 12.5. I just think it's a little easier on the eyes. But it's up to you. That's the beauty of this self-publishing thing, right? So now that we have pretty much fixed everything, I do think that I see some blue guideline here, so I'm going to go to my front cover. I'm actually going to move it just a little bit. And that's too much. Okay. That appears to be good. So just really look at everything, make sure that the bleed lines are good. The next thing I want to do, and I suggest you do this as well, is really look at your text. See, we've got some issues with this one. It's not exactly lined up, so you're just going to line that up there. That's good. Perfect. Now, if you make your back cover, which is the most important one because we've added text to it, if you make your back cover transparent again, you'll be able to see where your text fits in with those bleed lines, and that looks really good. You're not going to be in any trouble of anything not making it on there that needs to be. So that's great. So, because this isn't a book cover I'm actually going to be letting out to the world, I'm going to pretty much be done with it. I think that looks really good. So the first way we're going to save it that would actually be my Dotson, who is demanding attention. Okay, so you didn't really miss anything. All I did was move my text over to the left a little bit because it wasn't the two blocks of text weren't exactly even. Now I'm just going to take the opacity of my back cover back down to just be able to see exactly where that text is lined up in the bleed lines and the safe zones, and you're not in any danger of any of this getting cut off, which is excellent. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so we're almost finished. What we're going to do is we're going to save this. Like I've said, we're going to save this two ways. The first way we're going to save it is we're going to save as a Photoshop document. You want to do the .psd, and we're just going to rename this. Let's see, Line Editable. That's the way I like to do mine. So that way, as soon as I see the document, I know that that is an editable document. Because as soon as you save this as a PDF, it's going to compress everything, and you're not going to be able to come in and make little changes to this text over here. So then we're going to go ahead and save as a Photoshop PDF. This is where you're making your PDF. Ingram Spark, and I don't know about Amazon, but Ingram Spark does have naming requirements. But we're just going to, for the sake of this video, name it Divine Wrap Final. So it's going to show you that you want to have certain settings. I'm just going to save that PDF. You can hear my dogs wrestling in the background. And that's that. That is all that we have to do to it, except for, of course, upload it to Ingram Spark, which we're not going to do because this is not a real book. But if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Again, I'm sorry for sounding a little nervous, which I am. But I hope that you've enjoyed this series so far. I'm not quite done with it. I don't think I might be done for a little while, but I would like to actually find out more about building covers for Amazon, because I do think they are a little bit different. But I do recommend you give Ingram Spark a try. It may seem really, really daunting at first, but it's really, really not. If I can do this, anybody can do this. But that's it. Thanks for sticking with me.